What is an educational medium?
Well, one of the things that I'm most passionate about is empowering others to step into their own intuition.
In turn, would have us be more joyful than, choosing to ignore it, which I know you've done that. I've done that at times.
Done that.
Yeah.
I actually was able to sense energy from a very young age. I really didn't know what that was. I didn't know what was mine, what was from spirit.
Did it ever freak you out?
When that was, I kind of caught something out of the corner of my eye that was a full, almost shadow figure, and that made my heart skip a little bit.
Yeah. Are you hearing voices? Are you seeing? What does that look like?
Well,
for you?
it's kind of a little bit of everything. Sometimes I'll get a picture in my head, sometimes it's a word, and that was my message, truly.
I want to know, have you sensed anybody around me? Today's show is brought to you by Brave Healer Productions. Experience what's possible. On today's show, we are joined by the educational medium, Deb DeCelle. She's gonna show us how we can tap into our own intuitive superpowers. And I'm also back on the streets with some fun peeps on Sharing with Shari. And of course, from the Joy Newsroom, I am bringing you a sensational story, literally from down under. So go grab your favorite cuppa and hurry back. It's time for Good Morning Joy. What's the weather today? Well, it's perfect for rocking your favorite outfit. That's right, my friends. Today's forecast is all about self-expression. Whether it's bold, cozy, or a little out there, wear whatever makes you feel like the superstar you are. That's right, strut into the day like it's your personal runway. Have an amazing day, and don't forget to slay. Remember, no matter the weather outside, it's always sunny here in our hearts here at Joy News. Keep smiling. Over to you, Shari. So joining me right now is internationally acclaimed educational medium, Deb DeCelle. Deb is here right now to help us sprinkle a little bit of magic back into our lives by helping us to sharpen our own intuition. I'm so excited to welcome you and maybe some others that are here to Good Morning Joy. Hi, Deb.
Thank you, Shari. Alyse, what a joy to be here.
I'm so excited. You're so excited. I got my full name thrown in there. Thank you for being here today. I am excited about this conversation. But first, before we even dive into it, let us all know, what is an educational medium?
Well, one of the things that I'm most passionate about is empowering others to step into their own intuition, because intuition and mediumship is not just for some people, it is for all people. And it is my life's work to help other people understand that and to grow into their fullest potential.
I love that because, you hear the word medium, which, by the way, I think is so cool. I watch all the medium shows. I've been, following it for a long time. But I love the fact that you're not just, from what I understand, like reading people and helping people to connect, which is so powerful,
right,
but you're teaching people how to do that for themselves.
Absolutely. And I spent 15 years in education. And so my passion really grew for helping others, uplifting others so that they can live a fuller life. Because when we develop our own intuitive skills, it spills over to every area of our life. And it's so incredibly joyful and empowering.
Well, yeah, I would say that being able to tap into our intuition would lead us in better directions, right?
Yes.
Like, which in turn would have us be more joyful than, choosing to ignore it, which I know you've done that. I've done that at times.
Done that.
Yeah. How did you get into this? Can you share a little bit about the story of
Absolutely. Well, I actually was able to sense energy from a very young age. I really didn't know what that was. I didn't know what was mine, what was from spirit, and what was just other people's stuff. And believe it or not, I didn't start to develop fully until I was in my 30s. I started studying energy work and things like that, and the messages started coming faster and faster. And I knew I needed to do something with it to help other people heal and to empower others. And so I just really was brave, and I took a risk, and I started doing this professionally, and I've never looked back. It's turned out to be my greatest joy in my life's work.
Did it ever freak you out?
I have to say, it takes a lot to freak me out. I think only one time was I ever like, and when that was, I kind of caught something out of the corner of my eye that was a full, almost shadow figure, and that made my heart skip a little bit.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I'm just going to ask the questions that I know people are wanting to know, and we're going to start with this mediumship before we talk really deeply about intuition. Yeah. So when you are connecting with others, I'm just using others, are you hearing voices? Are you seeing? What does that look like for you?
Well, it's kind of a little bit of everything. Sometimes I'll get a picture in my head. Sometimes it's a word. More often than not, it's something called clear cognizance, where you just know what you know. And I have no idea how it works. It can be a little bit of everything, but for me, the way that my ability works is it's primarily just an overwhelming knowing.
Yeah. So it's just that internal thing where you're just like, you know that you know.
Yeah. And that's why it took me many years to figure it out, because you always just think, okay, is this my own thought? Am I like losing it a little? What's happening?
Right.
So yeah.
Would you say that everybody has, you always hear that everybody has this ability, but sometimes we just block it off. Like, I'm very in tune, which I didn't know until later in life, like with people's emotions or what people are thinking right away, and how to read a room, and and people are like, how did you know that? I needed to hear that. And it's what you say, like just a knowing.
Yeah, your inner empath surfaced, my dear. And so the thing is, yes, we all have this innate ability to connect. But what happens as a society and a culture, it gets brushed to the side. And we really need to be mindful too about saying to people, oh, that's just your imagination, or, oh, you're just making it up, things like that. Because the reality is, oftentimes those are intuitive hits. That's starting to uncover your magic. But we live in a world where we're on screens and things are happening so fast all the time. A lot of times we lose that inner wisdom that we're born with.
I love that you call it magic, because it feels that way. You know, when I really tune in, or people, when you feel like you have that ability, it feels like you're almost magical. What is the clearest way, like for someone, if they are thinking right now, either that they want to develop it, that they don't have any, or even that maybe they're like, I could feel there's something there. What is something that would be helpful for them?
Well, what's interesting is they can start to really kind of study on their own. There's little exercises you can kind of build into your day to almost test yourself, if you will, and they're really low risk exercises, and it makes it so fun. One of them being, okay, what color is the car going to be that's parked next to me when I come out of the supermarket? Or what is my coworker going to be wearing? What color blouse are they going to have, or shirt are they going to have on today? So you can really build in some of those low risk exercises, and it makes it so much fun.
Okay, I used to do that as a kid though, but I would do things like, well, I don't know if this is the same, but I would want to move objects. So I'm like, I'm going to move this picture on the wall. It never worked. But maybe later I would knock it off the wall. So maybe I needed to get sharpen it on my powers. But I think that's really enjoyable and so fun. Like, did you do this for yourself, or was it just, like you said, one of those things where you just suddenly had it?
I just suddenly kind of awakened, I guess. And as I was studying energy work and things started to float more and more into my awareness. And I had to be a bit brave to, reach out to others. Sometimes I'll get a feeling that I'm just not right, or something's not right. So now what I do is I send a text message out to my inner circle and just say, you good? Are things good today? Because so often we're picking up on other people's stuff as well.
Which you obviously do a lot. Are you able to shut that part of you off, or is it always coming in fast and hard?
Actually, I've learned to shut it down over time, because could you imagine if it's coming at you 24/7? So yes, I have that off switch. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. I already have enough voices in my head. I don't need yours. I don't need anybody else's voices. So what is possible for us when we learn to sharpen these skills?
When we learn to sharpen these skills, we can show up more for ourselves and others, because we're listening to that quiet inner voice. And so when we're listening to that to pick up on fun things like, what a person's going to be wearing or different things like that. Really what we're doing is we're looking inward. And when we begin to look inward, it changes everything for us because we're listening to that quiet inner voice. And when you're intuitive or begin to develop your intuitive gifts, boy, you need to be dialed into that. And it's something that's so incredibly important.
Well, I love the idea or the practice of tuning in and dialing in. So even working on this, because then you just, as I mentioned earlier, become more aligned with who you are and what it is that you want. And then you show up more joyful,
absolutely,
right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So speaking of joy, you wrote a book about grief.
I did. I helped to co-author. It was actually called The Grief Experience, Tools for Acceptance, Resilience, and Connection.
By Brave Healer Productions.
By Brave Healer Productions. I was invited onto the project by an incredible grief counselor named Kelly Daughtery. And really, my chapter is about how people can connect with their loved ones in spirit. Because what greater comfort than to continue to have continuity of relationship when people are no longer here in the physical world. And it can be done by everyone. And that was my message, truly. And, grief can be a bit of a challenge, but there is also joy when we learn that we can connect, when we learn that there's more to just what we see here in the physical world.
I love that. I think there's so much peace that comes with that, like knowing, and I love that you use the phrase continuity of relationship, because I think I imagine most people's challenge when someone does pass is that you no longer have that relationship. And so you're helping people to stay connected.
Absolutely. And one of the most interesting things that I find time and time again is that, as humans, we're pretty complex.
What? And I'm so simple.
What's interesting is that sometimes people we have communication challenges with when they're here in the physical world can show up very differently for us from spirit. You might have harsh words or challenging communication here, but then they transition to spirit, they pass away, and you start to develop relationship with them. Well, they have 360-degree perspective now. They can see where they had shortcomings or where there were challenges. And frankly, I know for myself, someone that I had a lot of challenges with here in the physical world is there for me so much more now from the spirit world. Wow. And it's truly, truly magical and so healing.
So the fact that you teach people how to tune in, tap into their intuition, are then they able to connect with their loved ones themselves and even get messages?
1,000% yes.
I love
and
that.
It's so wonderful because it's not a big challenging thing. It's those little skills that we build each day, but also being open to the signs from loved ones, being open to communicating with them. And that's really what I love to teach other people. And as much as I love delivering heartfelt messages, there's nothing I love more. What's just as exciting for me is educating other people about how they can do it too, because it's so incredibly important.
And speaking in the education realm, is that a lot of the work that you do, you are trauma informed.
Yes.
So you have that sensitivity that comes along with the work that you do. You used to work with at-risk youth?
I did. I spent 15 years in education, special education, and working with at-risk youth. And, we were trained in therapeutic crisis intervention. And what I learned in doing that, was what are things that you should and could say? What are things that you shouldn't? How are we sensitive to the challenges that people have dealt with, trauma that we can't even imagine? And it's so important to have that lens when we're reading so that we can navigate waters that might be a little murky in a way that doesn't damage others.
So important, because I know that when so many people receive this stuff, they don't always, there isn't always that sensitivity to it. So Deb, what do you see yourself doing as, in the bigger picture? Like, what's next for you?
Well, I think what's next for me is to continue my mission of educating others and to get my message out there. And really, aren't we all here to just help other people level up and to bring more joy?
Yeah. Okay, so I want to just share that there's this intuition that I'm having, and I just see huge audiences. I see you back, and I'm going to date myself right now, running up and down the aisles like Phil Donahue used to do, reading people, sharing with people, workshopping with people. And so I don't know if that's part of your plan or is already, but that's what I see.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. And it absolutely is.
Okay, awesome. So we're going to go to break soon, but I want to know, have you sensed anybody around me?
Yes, actually, there's an older woman that steps through, and she just wants to love on you and wrap her arms right around you. She identifies herself as a grandmother type figure in your life, and she just wants to wrap you up and hold you. She tells me that you are a resilient character, and she says, boy, that's Shari. She gets knocked down, but she gets back up. She gets knocked down and she gets back up. And she's also actually saying congratulations for stepping into who you are more fully. And she said that she is very glad that you are now living in a joyful way for yourself instead of trying to live up to the standards of other people.
Okay, sorry to put you on the spot there, but I love that. Thank you.
You're so very welcome.
I just got called to ask you that because I don't know, there was something there. I was like, I was like, is there somebody here with us right now? Deb, tell me something for you that, when you wake up every single day that drives you to continue this mission.
I think it's the butterflies in my belly. It's really uplifting other people, because one of the things that's so important to me is that collaborations and working together is what is going to change the world. And so that's what drives me.
Yeah. And what is your hope for someone watching this right now? If they and they want to sharpen or develop, they can reach out to you.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
And I've worked with folks from CEOs to stay-at-home moms.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So all different people from all different walks of life. Absolutely, they can reach me on my website, debdecelle.com, or on social media at Deb DeCelle Medium.
Okay, awesome. So I'm not done with you yet. We're going to go to break. And when we come back, I drew a card earlier in the show before we started. And Deb's going to tell me what the card means. And we are going to learn how to sharpen my own intuition as well as yours, so stay right there. Get ready for some sensational news. Nathan Angelicus, a PhD student in Australia, teamed up with an unlikely crew, Sealions. Using 8 sea lions, Angelicus recorded over 89 hours of footage of the Australian seafloor. These talented sea lion cameramen conducted nearly 2,000 dives, mapping out 5,000 square kilometers of ocean floor. Their incredible work led to the discovery of new coral reefs and diverse ocean habitats. We've also learned more about sea lion behavior, revealing their preference for diet and living conditions. This groundbreaking research is a game changer for conservation efforts, crucially needed as the sea lion population has declined by 60% since the 1980s. Thanks to Angelicus and these sea lions, we're diving deeper into the mysteries of the ocean and taking strides to protect its inhabitants. Now it's time for one of my favorite segments where I get to connect with you, my viewer. A viewer wrote in and asked, "Dear Shari, I'm scared of speaking my mind when people walk all over me. How do I become more vocal about my boundaries?" Think of speaking up like letting butterflies out of a jar. They're just waiting to fly free. To become more vocal and assertive, think of yourself as a superhero in training. You can practice your super voice in front of the mirror, reminding yourself that your thoughts and feelings are just as important as anyone else's. Setting boundaries is like putting up a sparkly fence around your personal garden, protecting the amazing flowers that you've grown. Each time you say no or express how you feel, you're flexing your superhero muscles. So, unleash those butterflies and let your true colors shine. All right, so we are back, and I drew a card earlier without seeing it, of course.
Yes.
And we're also going to play a game. So share with me what we got going on here.
Okay, so we have an oracle card from a deck called You Are Enough. It's one of my favorite ones. It's amazing. And one of the things that you can do to build in a daily practice is to take some type of oracle deck or a deck and draw a card once a day to see what direction you need to head.
Okay.
And what's interesting to me is your card is radiate gratitude, which is something that you do every day, okay? But what I see is lots of yellow here. So solar plexus energy, joy, and also we see butterflies, my dear. And so butterflies can often be a sign from spirit of loved ones from the other side saying hello. And so it's saying, keep shining your light, Shari. Keep shining your light and keep radiating that gratitude. You do it so beautifully, and I am not surprised that this was the card that you pulled at all.
I love that. We've got the sunflower on there. We talked about butterflies earlier in the show, not just you and I, but in our Dear Shari segment. So butterflies are on the range today.
I love it. I love it.
All right, so this is going to help us at home and myself to sharpen our skills.
Absolutely. One of the things that brings me great joy is Christmas vacation. So I have actually a deck of playing cards here. And what I do with students is I will hand them cards. And you can see the colors to choose from are red and green here.
Okay.
And so basically you're just going to hold these cards and shuffle them around and, think to yourself, okay, is this red or is it green? And then flip it over and see if you're right.
Okay.
So that is just something that is a daily practice that allows you to do that. And guess what? You're going to be wrong. And
I don't want to play. That's it. I'm out of here.
And that is the beauty of it, though, because the more we can tune into how the card feels, energy coming off of it, that's called psychometry and also clairtangency, clear touch. So you can take the cards just one at a time and you hold it in your hand and you think to yourself, okay, do I think this is red or do I think this is green? And then you can kind of check.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, well, let's hope I don't fail. I'm feeling red.
Yes, ma'am.
There's green. Oh, I was going to say red. I should have gone with my intuition. Okay, I'm going to mix things back up because I got thrown. Green. I have a 50-50 shot here, so if I don't get this, red. There's red. Green. Okay, I did not bad.
Not bad at all. And it just gets better over time.
Yeah.
And it's such a low risk, fun way to practice.
It really is about helping us to connect to our best selves, to be able to be led to that most joyful path of ourselves. So thank you for all the work that you're doing in the world and for helping us to connect with our best us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shari. What a joy to be here.
Thank you. And now it's time to go talk to some peeps on the street on today's
Hey there, my name is Shari. Alyse, what's your name?
Rauru.
Rauru. And where are you from, Rauru?
From Texas.
Texas is your first time in LA?
No.
Okay. What are you doing here?
So I work out here now.
Oh, okay. So now you permanently live here. Awesome. Me too. All right. I'm happy because I was just saying I want a local. So I'm glad I got a local now. What is your name, lovely lady?
Diana.
Diana, why'd you say yes?
I'm just walking down the street and Starbucks is closed.
We are live here at VCon 2024 and I'm standing with Brittany. Brittany, what are you doing? What brought you to VCon today?
Well, I am a makeup artist and I was really interested in coming today to learn a little bit more about content creating and being more online and taking control of my business.
What is one of the weirdest food combinations that you secretly enjoy?
Secretly enjoy. We'll say shrimp and grits.
Shrimp and grits, but is that so weird?
It is. It really is because it's like breakfast/dinner.
Oh, so you'll eat it at any time.
Yeah.
So what are you doing right now in your business, for content creation? Anything?
Yeah, I am. I'm actually creating my course right now. So I'm creating a course that women can come online and purchase to learn how to do makeup with me.
That's so awesome. So I've been doing my makeup probably since I was 12 or 13, maybe earlier. And I just watch TikTok now. And so I'm watching a bunch of beauty influencers and I'm buying a ton of stuff and I've spent all my money, skincare, makeup. What's one thing that you would tell women with mature textured skin?
I would say to invest in a good moisturizer. So Yeah, or eye cream for sure.
Yeah, eye cream is a definite. I were to look in your browser history, what is one of the craziest things that I would find?
Craziest, I would probably say just a lot of sneaker shopping.
Okay. Tell me something that keeps you positive. What is one way that you stay positive in your life?
I have an excellent relationship with my husband, and we've been married 45 years. And, we laugh every day.
If you could make one thing socially acceptable, what would that be?
I would say maybe being able to smoke marijuana in every state.
Okay, fair enough. What drives you every day?
My why is like for my family, my boyfriend, my dog. Like I just want to be better for them and to keep pushing and going. That's what kind of just drives me every single day.
What is something that secretly brings you joy?
Everybody knows me. Everybody knows what I like. I'm a birder. I do quilting. I retired about 10 years ago, and not a day goes by when I'm not busy. My grandchildren give me great joy.
Thank you so much for being on Good Morning, Joel. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I can't wait to see you next time on Good Morning Joy, where every day starts with a smile.